Welcome back to Time to Change. I'm Chasen Forehand.
And I'm Dom Jones.
And we're having discussions with people doing the work.
Yeah, and that work is a result of some deep lived experience, some knowledge, but ultimately a passion to see better humans and better workplaces.
I love that. And I can't wait to dive in.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Time to Change. And I am in the house with my buddy. We are missing you, Dom. I'm sorry you could not be here this evening, but you are missing out on a great conversation, my friend. But I know you were taking care of the boys, so thank you so much for all you do. Karen Laos in the house. Speaker,
Hello.
best-selling author, a corporate trainer, podcaster, and my friend and outlier sister. Give it up, people. Yes.
Love
To
it.
have you in the house.
Thank you. It's awesome. I love your enthusiasm. It's contagious. I want more of it. So great to be here.
So people, before we get started, you scan that QR code just above her left shoulder, and that's going to take you to two books that she has, and we're going to talk about them here in a minute. But make sure you scan that, and you can get her fantastic best-selling books. So first, I want to talk about the work that you do and let you introduce a little bit more about what you're doing. And I got a whole bunch of questions here for you. So I'm like we're definitely going to dive into some cool stuff that I found on your website, and there's some things that you'd like to cover about some events you've got going on in the future. But I would love for you. I mean, you talk about how one ask can open the door to multiple opportunities. And you talk about confidence and building, saying the right things and using your voice in such a way and really directing women, particularly, but everybody to, ignite themselves in their purpose and passion. So talk about that a little bit. Talk about what you do, and we'll jump right in.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about one of my very first asks was I was 6 years old at a flea market. My dad handed me a few dollars and he said, "Go have fun, but never pay full price." And I don't know if I was just more terrified of my dad because he was not an emotional
Oh
connector.
my God.
I just wanted to please him, but I will tell you, Chasen, it was so exhilarating. Even as a little girl, thinking, "Oh, I didn't even know that was an option." So that is a story that I remember growing up, and it really set the course around my ability to ask for what I want. And believe me, there have been plenty of times where I haven't, and I regretted it. So I definitely want to be very upfront with that. But I will say that my dad was very good at saying the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You don't have unless you ask. And so that was a huge part of my upbringing. But at the same time, growing up in a traditional home, my mom took care of us and stayed. Her work was in the home, and I'm the last of 9 kids, so she had a
Wow.
lot of work to do.
Wow.
But I bring that up because I think it's important to share, and I will get to what I do, I think, throughout this, and certainly can talk more about that. But I do think that it's important for people to know a little bit more of the origin of why I do what I do, because what I realized my mom really taught me without any words. She modeled that a woman doesn't have a voice over a man because you have to look to the man for approval, permission, and frankly, to tell you what to do. And yet it was weird to have that experience with her in the home. And at the same time, having my dad talk about persistence, determination, go for what you want. So I've had a successful career based on, what people would call success, I suppose. And yet there were times, and still can be times, that I'm working on, even though I've made a lot of progress, where in certain situations it's harder for me to speak up than others. And so that is why I really help women to find their voice and use it. And I do this through keynote speaking primarily, and podcasting. And of course, like you mentioned, I'm an author as well. But I am all about helping women find their voice and use it so they're never without a strategy.
Whether you're a nonprofit, church, school, or business, let ourmerchpage.com become an extension of your marketing team. They'll handle the design, sourcing, fulfillment, and management of your merchandise marketing needs so you can stay focused on what matters most, your business.
From the moment you and I connected, even before we got to get our hugs on, I mean, it was clear we are going to be buddies because of how you show up and how you shine your light. And
Thank
I love that about you. I absolutely, absolutely adore that about you. I I noticed on your website, I have to ask this. I know there's like a million things I have to get to, but I noticed this on your website, and I have to ask. I lived on the road for 4 years in Up with People. You learn a lot about traveling with 150 people from 25 countries. You've you've got to share this story. You've
Sure.
got to share this story.
So, have you heard of Up with People, by the way?
I have not. No.
Oh, okay. So it is still in existence, but it was in its heyday, I would say, between the 80s and the late 90s.
Wow.
There were truly 100 and some people. We had 5 different casts, 150 something somewhere in there that traveled from 25 different countries performing a musical show, helping to break down cultural barriers, and that included living in host families as well as traveling every 3 days. We were in a different city doing a huge extravaganza. It was, I would liken it to an international extravaganza show, so there were lots of dances, lots of singing, and it was a huge production. And they're still in existence today. But yeah, I traveled for a very long time and got to a point where I said, I want my shampoo to not be in a Ziploc bag every 3 days.
Now I have to go back and watch some episodes. I'm gonna go find you and I'm gonna watch these episodes. This is incredible. I had no idea. I don't think we ever talked about this. All the things that we've talked about, I don't think we ever talked about that. That's
Yeah, it's
I
got
saw that.
uh-huh.
I saw that on your website and I was just like, ah, that immediately was in my questions. Oh, wow. So it's a it makes me think about that you're going to all these countries and you're doing this song and I'm like, this is like Rent, but like in multiple countries. Like,
Yes, it was a musical, like a
yeah.
musical, and every 2 years they would change all the choreography, as well as the theme of the show. So it was a huge production. We had staging for 6 weeks in Tucson, Arizona, and then they set us out for the year, and then I joined again and again, and I'm gonna share another fun fact that isn't on my website, which is I loved it so much I wanted to work for them because you actually pay to do it. It's a leadership and educational program,
Oh
and
wow.
I wanted to continue, and the only job that was available was a bus driver.
Yeah.
So I drove a 54 passenger bus for a year and a half.
That I don't even know why I should be surprised at that. But anybody that knows you, an audience, as you're watching this and you get to know Karen, you are not going to be surprised. There's nothing this lady can't do. She puts her mind to it. It's that old adage that we were told you could do anything you put your mind to. She is that in spades. Just like I will do it. I can conquer it. Let's go. Let's figure it out and let's make it happen. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, it was pretty hard to give up my tractor trailer license. I'm not gonna lie. So I had that and the bus driver license.
Wow, that's
You
crazy.
never know. You never know
You,
what
ne-
skills
you
you're gonna use.
never, you never know. You never know. Well, you know what? You, in talking about this, you have a podcast as well. So,
Mhm.
you want to tell us a little bit about your podcast and when you started it, where people can find it,
Sure.
and tell me more about that.
Sure, absolutely. So I love that the way that this started because this is such a good reminder to anybody that you never know where opportunity is going to find you and what you then do to create it even further. It was in 2021, no, late 2020, on a networking call virtually, and a woman and I just connected. And then afterward, we had a call and she said, "Do you want to start a podcast? I could help you." And I remember thinking that was a goal down the line. It wasn't immediate. But then we ended up doing a trade where I helped coach her on executive presence for some big presentations she had because she was doing full time work at her job. But in addition, she did this podcasting thing on the side. So within 4 weeks, I had a podcast up and running.
Wow.
And it is all about, it's called Ignite Your Confidence for women in leadership who want to speak up and stand out. So everything that I do is under the umbrella of communication with specific strategies, such as how to stop rambling and get to the point. And that is truly one of my favorites because I think it's important that I give some tips while we're here, Chasen. So I'll lead into that one because that's one of my favorites, as I always call myself a recovering rambler, although I've gotten much better. But maybe there's some other people that can relate to this. So when you notice yourself rambling, stop, pause to gather your thoughts, and then say out loud, "My point is this." Because when you do that, it helps you recalibrate. It also helps your audience, even if it's an audience of one, say, "Oh, there's a point here." Because so
Right.
many of us start going off on tangents. There might be a relevant tangent, but it's also so important to be intentional when we speak. And that's really important from a content perspective. But then there's also the other perspective around delivery. And that's a lot that I work with people, particularly women, on their voices. So we come across with conviction, we project authority, and we command any room that we walk into, combined with warmth, because we're always combining warmth and assertiveness and integrating those two.
Good grief. I love that. And, my wife has this when I will get off target and she's in the room. She just has a thing now that we've worked out over the years. She just touches my shoulder, and I know, ah, she just touches my shoulder, and I know, like, I have just like gone to Quebec. Like, I don't know where I was going, wherever I was, and now going in a totally. One of your last podcasts, and I love this. It was 5 power phrases to boost your confidence and authority instantly. So,
Mm.
I mean, you were talking about how you do intentional things and speak to women primarily, but to all of us about that piece. And I thought that was very powerful. So, I mean, I've locked you in on you're in my following group where I can listen to this. I listen to that podcast. So I love as well all that you have to say and teach because even though it's geared towards women, I think a lot of us can learn from.
Thank you, Jason. Well, one of my favorite tips in the spirit of that is the minimizing language that we use. And that was a big part of that episode. And to give your folks a tip right now, thinking about the two words just and little, how we often use those. Like we'll say, "I just want to share a little tip with you." And it almost sounds like we're apologizing for it versus, "I want to share a tip with you." If you take out both of those words, it doesn't change the meaning. It only makes it stronger and more confident. So that's one example of that for sure. And another one is the over apologizing. When we say, "Oh, I'm sorry," we're going, what are you sorry for?" And one of my favorites, I don't know if I can say this on the show. So you can edit it out if you need to. But I always tell people, be sexy, not sorry. Too often we try to go for it. We're just apologizing all of the time. And so something that just kind of a fun thing to put in there.
I love it. It's great. No, we certainly could say that. I thought you were going to curse for a minute, and I was like, oh, I will cut that out. But no, it's it's all good, and it's not me. It's YouTube. They get really mad. I don't know. I don't know what it is about them, but they just like, hey, don't say that. So
Yeah.
that did
So,
bug me.
yeah, do what you will with that. I hope I didn't make your life more complicated.
Not at all. Not at all. I love it, and I love your podcast. Again, I'm following and watching in and listening. So very good. So let's talk. I want to, as we start to kind of wind through the conversation, I want to make sure that we talk about the Chase Center event that you're curating in San Francisco in 2030. Let's talk about what that is, and then like that's pretty far out, but I know how these things take to plan. So tell me about the event. Tell me what's going on with it and how you're involved. And yeah, stage is yours.
Well, in 2020, thank you for bringing that up. This is energizing just to think about it. In 2020, I made a decision that I wanted to reach 10 million women, specifically helping them overcome self-doubt and speak with confidence instead. And it's so interesting when you hear 10 million. I mean, it just sounds like a big number. It's not really something we can wrap our head around. And yet it's been so fun when I've been telling people about the Chase Center stage event. People go, "Oh, I want to help. I want to be there." So I made a decision that I was going to have an event that culminated with this dream, like a physical culmination of this dream in
Wow.
2030, because that's 10 years from the date that I made the decision. And there are 18,000 seats in that stadium. And I cannot imagine anything more exciting than 18,000 people coming together, feeling empowered and free. Because at the end of the day, I want women in particular, but everybody, I want to feel free. And the event is going to be a curated event with different speakers. And I'm not even sure exactly what yet, Jason, but I know it's going to be good and inspiring. And I was thinking like I won't go into the details, but some of the speakers that I was thinking about, like are Mel Robbins or Brene Brown or some big, big person that would come in and that would really align with my mission. So who knows? But
Oprah. We get
hold on
Oprah
to your,
coming.
yeah, exactly. You never know. You never know.
Holy mackerel. I'm excited. I'm
Thank
excited for
you.
everybody. I'm excited for everybody that's gonna be in attendance, everybody that's going to hear this. Oh my good anybody that's going to speak. My goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And
That's a big, audacious goal, and I love it. I love I call stuff out all the time. People think I'm
mm,
mad. Just like, that guy is mad. Then
it's
then we do it, and they go, "He is really mad."
well, that's just it. It's been so fun since I started really talking more about the event and having people say, "Oh my gosh, like I have two event planners that want to help me." There's just so much buzz around it.
That's incredible. Well, that's it's gonna happen, and I'm just
Yes.
I'm gonna put it in my calendar. Like, I don't even know where I don't even know where this is. I'm like, "The Chase Center. Where is the Chase Center?"
It's in San Francisco.
San Francisco. I'm gonna be in San Francisco. Oh, it says right there. I just read it. Hello. I'm going next year. Joe and I are going for the first time up the California coast. We're flying into San Diego, and we're gonna rent a vehicle and go up Highway 1, but then we're gonna have 2 events and meet people down south and meet people up north, and there's so many people that I know from Outliers, SEN, people I've met on LinkedIn, people that have become dear friends over the last
Mm.
7, 8, 10 years, whatever. And man, people they're this is, I mean, really, truly humbling. There's people that are opening up their homes and like, come on, you guys can hang out with us. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
So we're super stoked.
Uh,
And I'm prepping my hugs. I'm like prepping my hugs.
good. Well, you give great hugs. I'm so glad
Oh my
we got
goodness.
to meet up.
So do you. So do you.
Thank you.
It takes two. It takes
Yes,
two.
it does.
Oh my gosh. I want you to tell everybody about your books now because I don't. They can scan that QR code and go to your website where you have both your books listed. The one at the top is your book, which is the bestseller, but you also wrote in a compilation with your husband. And
Yes.
so let's talk about both of them. First, talk
Okay.
about your book.
Sure. So my book is called Trust Your Own Voice. And I think it's all around, well, I was going to say I think it's very fitting when there were so many years that I didn't. And it's really a playbook for women to grow their influence through confident communication. So the whole thing, I always joke with people that I wrote a book that I would read because I like cliff notes. I don't like fluff. I just want the tips. Like, give me the tips.
That's fun.
So the
Yeah.
whole thing is, and you don't have to read it in any order. You just pick which area you want the most support in, and it's all about different tips or different things to say and challenging conversations, for example, how to use your voice, how to put a presentation together, how to structure that in a way that your audience is going to listen, and how to overcome self-doubt with some very tangible exercises as well. And then the beginning is my story of upbringing and how I got to be where I am today, some of the challenges that came with the confusing messages of my childhood. And then the other book, Unshakable, is what it's called. My husband and I were in that. It was so exhilarating. And our whole chapter is about hope through community. So for anyone listening, my husband's kidneys failed in 2020, and we went through an excruciating time, I will say, where I also launched my business about the exact same time,
Wow.
and all of the challenges. And he had previously had a stroke the year before, so lots of different challenges. And he's 11 years younger than me, so it's really amazing how all of this happened in our lives. So the story is really about each of our perspectives and the hope that we found through our community and the people that surround us. And it was really been amazing. So the whole book is frankly a compilation of stories. And the book is called Unshakable because it's all about hope, especially through life's dark times.
People, go scan this QR code. We'll have all the links when you see this out, whether you listen on one of your favorite audio platforms or you go to our YouTube channel. Scan that QR code that's just above her left shoulder. That'll take you to her website and her books. We'll have all the links so you can see all the different things that she's been involved with and that she's doing. You can follow her to make sure that you are going to be in San Francisco in 2030. Put it on, just go ahead and pin it and be ready for it, because this lady will make this happen. And I will be happy to be one of the 18,000 people sitting my butt in one of those seats. So,
Yay.
how awesome is this? It has been great to have you in the house. Absolutely love talking to you. Got a
Thank,
chance to talk to you before the show, and I just appreciate how you show up. You're just a
thank you.
huge, genuine person that just loves other people and shines your light, and it's just fantastic. So,
Thank you, Jason. That means the world to me. I
wow.
really care deeply. That is one of my top core value. It's care, and then the second one is flair, and the third one is excellence. So it means a lot.
Well, that sums it right up. We can leave with that. You have been in the house on Time to Change. Karen Laos, give it up one more time.
Love the applause.
Awesome.
Love the applause.
I need to make it longer, but it's good. It's good. Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you next time on Time to Change.
Thanks, Jason.